Hi, my bugs. It is time for math on Thursday, and I need you to get your pages we've been working on. I need you to get the assessment we've been working on and a highlighter. So boys and girls, pause the video for a moment while you get those three things, and then we'll start, okay? So pause the video, find those things, and then come back, okay? All right, here we go. So, yesterday, you worked through some problems in math where you either renamed the ones or the tens, and you only did it if needed. Now, I crossed off some problems for you. We crossed off number 4, we crossed off number 6, we crossed off number 7. But every single one of them needed renaming somewhere, okay? So we did have an if needed in every case, okay? So we're going to go through those answers, okay? And then we're going to talk about our assessment, okay? And I'm going to give you a little lesson on this, but not very long, and we're not going to do any work here. We're just going to talk about it, and then we're going to move on to our assessment, okay? All right, so here we go. I'm on page 170. We did this work yesterday. Let's talk about it. Number 1, 162 plus 383. That 2 and 3 became 5. 6 and 8 is 14. So I wrote my 4 in the tens place, and I renamed 100 in the hundreds place. 100 plus 100 plus 300 is 500. So my answer is 545. Okay. Number 2, 4 plus 5. Oh, let me read the problem. 564 plus 75. Okay, 4 and 5, that's 9. We can do that. 6 plus 7, 13. Can't do it. So we write our 3 in the tens place, and then we take 10 tens and we rename them as 100 in the hundreds place. So 1 plus 6, or 100 plus 600, 100 plus 500, boy, it's early in the morning, is 600. So our answer is 639, okay? So we renamed 100, and we added that 100 to the 500 we already had, and we got 600. So 1 plus 5 is 6, okay? And the reason I'm saying 50 and 40 and 100 and 300 is because that's the place that that's in. Remember, that's the value of that number. It's just a digit that's in a place, and it's got value. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to scoot back a little bit so I'm better in the picture. All right, number 3, 236 plus 492. Once again, I think we're not going to have to rename in our ones place. 6 and 2 are 8. 3 and 9, 12. So I have to rename 2 in the tens place. I'm going to take 10 tens, rename them as 100, write that 100 right above the 2, and 100 plus 200 plus 400 is 700. Now here are the answers to those top problems, boys and girls. Does your paper look like my paper? If it doesn't, let's get it fixed. Are you renaming that 100? Make sure you're making that mark there. Don't do it without it. You need to have that 100 there. Okay, this time we renamed tens. Let's see what happens on the next row. 788 plus 103. 8 plus 3, 11. Too big, so I have to take my 1 and put it in the ones place, and I have another 1 in the tens place because I have 10 ones. I'm going to rename them as a 10 in my tens place. 110 plus 8 tens is 9 tens, or 90. 700s plus 100s is 800. So my answer is 891. Okay, we're going to go all the way over to number 8. We didn't do 6, we didn't do 7. 0 plus 8. Well, I know my rule is if one of my add-ins is 0, the sum is the same as the other add-in. So 8. And then 8 plus 7, that's 15. I'm going to have to put that 5 in the tens place, rename 100. 10 tens is 100. And 1 plus 4 is 5. And 3 more is 8. All right, well, we only had one place where we had to rename ones. Okay, we renamed tens quite a bit. So does your paper look like my paper? Did you write your renaming in the proper place? Okay. Now, boys and girls, I want you to remember, don't just start renaming unless you need to. It's always if needed, okay? All right, thank you. All right, who got all of those right?
That was easy.
All right, let's keep going. While taking a walk, Alexa counted 21 red flowers. Patty counted 38 yellow flowers. How many flowers did Alexa and Patty count? Okay, so I don't want you to draw 21 red flowers and 8 yellow flowers. Remember, we're going to use a base 10 picture. Okay, so let's see what that would look like right up here. So I'd have 21, okay, red flowers and 38 yellow flowers. Okay, so now, how many flowers did Alexa and Patty count? Well, what's my problem going to look like? Well, my problem looks like 21 plus 38 equals, I don't know, okay? So I'm going to start with my ones, and 1 plus 8 is 9. And 2 tens plus 3 tens is 5 tens. So my answer is 59. And my sentence that I should have underneath should be something like, Patty and Alexa counted 59 flowers. Not red flowers, not yellow flowers, together, okay? The red flowers are flowers, the yellow flowers are flowers. So 59 flowers all together, okay? So Alexa and Patty counted 59 flowers, okay? All right. So let's turn the page really quick, and we're just going to talk about our next little section. We're not going to do any problems in it, okay? Rename tens and ones, all right? Let's look at it. Let's look at that orange box, because that orange box is always going to tell us what we're doing, okay? So let's look at it really carefully. Number 1, it says add the ones, rename if needed, okay? So let's look at the ones. They have the problem 367 plus 154. They've drawn the add-ins with base 10, and they're going to combine the ones. 7 and 4, if you count them up, or if you know your facts, it's 11. So they had to take and draw a circle around 10 of those ones, because they're going to rename them, regroup them, okay? Carry them up, whatever you want to call it. And they drew an arrow, and they drew a nice little 10 in that box. It doesn't matter which box you put it in. It doesn't matter. You're adding a 10, okay, to the tens, okay? So we've renamed 10 ones and renamed them as a 10. So we still just have one little one all by itself down there. And so that's why we have a 1 now in our answer. 7 and 4, there's a 1 underneath it. And then they renamed that 1. Notice that they drew a 1 above the tens place, because we renamed a 10. Now we have 6 tens, 5 tens, and 1 more 10. And that gives us 12 tens. 1 plus 6 is 7, and 7 plus 5 is 12. Or you could think of it as 5 and 1 is 6, and the double of 6 is 12. Either way. So once again, I have to rename. So they drew a circle around 10 tens, and they drew an arrow and renamed them as 100. And then we have that 2 tens left. Do you see that we still have 2 tens left? So that's why we have a 2 in the tens place. Now we have hundreds. We have 3 hundreds, We have was 100, and then we have the 100 we renamed. And those are equal to 5. Okay? So boys and girls, pay attention to how they're showing you, because now we have renamed in the tens and in the hundreds. We've done both. Okay? And sometimes you are going to do both. Sometimes you're going to do neither. Sometimes you're just going to do ones. Sometimes you're just going to do tens. There's many options, okay? So you have to pay attention and know when to rename and when not to. When do we rename? When we add up and we get something that's bigger than 9, we have to rename. We have to take those 10 ones or 10 tens and rename them, okay? So if your digit is going to be bigger than a 9 right here, you have to rename, okay? So that's all we're going to talk about that now, okay? I want you to put that away. And you're going to hold on to that, because the very next thing we have in our chapter is the chapter review. Now, if you want to work on that on your own, totally fine. I'm going to be giving you the assessment will be the review next week, okay? The one we normally take home for bonus. That will be your assessment next week. And so that'll come home in your packet next week. So you can work on that if you want. You can work through these problems if you want to. It's totally up to you, but it's not assigned. You don't have to. If you feel you need the practice, go ahead, okay? But today, for sure, you must finish this assessment. So get out your assessment, please, okay? And we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to pause the camera because I'm going to take the camera out of its holder so that you can see what I'm doing, and we can work through this together a little bit. And then I'm going to release you to do it by yourself, okay? So I'm going to pause for a moment.